A text box is nothing more than just basically a box with text in it. And if you've read newspapers or seen newsletters there, you can see that the story will have little boxes over to the right-hand side that maybe have ads there about, go to your nearest supermarket, buy this, buy that. Or you can have it even relate to the story with a box here. Let's say this one's about Phil Collins. Maybe I have a little box over here that says, win a free lunch with Phil, how to enter the drawing. So to get started, I can come up here and click on the Insert tab, go to the text group and click on the text box button, and you can see up at the top Microsoft has a bunch of pre-built text boxes. You can see right here this one's going to put it right in the middle of your page here, and it's going to be outlined, it looks like, in a color burgundy. Or you can have your text box shaded in blue. You can scroll through here and find quite a few. Don't worry about this. If you find something that you like, in general, you can enter that in, and you can always format it the way you'd like it. You don't have to leave it the way it is. It's not permanent. Or you can just draw your own text box. But first, let's go with the pre-built text box. I'm going to choose this one and click on it. Automatically, it dumps it right in the middle of the page like we just saw in the preview. And it's outlined in burgundy here. And all I have to do is just come in here and say when. Just start typing it. It erases the text. A free. And you can format the text in here just like you normally would in the document. I'm going to hit enter. So there's my title basically, and I can stretch the text box out so it fits all in one line, or push it in if I like fill at the single line, but I'll leave it like that. I can either go to the Home tab to format my text, or just when in doubt right click and you get that little toolbar that pops up, and we can say, look, for all the text underneath my heading there, I'm going to type in Arial and hit my tab key, and let's do size 10, and I don't want it to be italicized either, and then I can click in here and that's going to be my new font. To enter the anyway, such and such website, whatever. You get the idea. You just keep typing this, and if I need more room, of course I can always click and drag to stretch this text box out. Now the nice thing about a text box is that it's free floating, at least the pre-built ones that Microsoft gives you. It's all based upon text wrapping. For example, you can come up here in the Format tab for this text box that relates to the text box, and you can click on the text wrapping. You can see default, the text is going to be square around the box, or you could have it up tight against the box, or as close as it can get. In fact, it's not a square anymore, just however the box is shaped, it's going to be tight next to it. Or you can have it in front of the text, which doesn't look good. So we're going to go back to text wrapping, the default. Let's do square. That looked pretty good. And once the text wraps around it, it's like a free floating box here, because I can just click and drag and all the text will move out of the way or just wrap around it, which is really nice. So I'm going to move it into the upper right hand corner, maybe have it as flush as I can. In fact, if I just have the box selected and I use my up and down arrow keys, I can get a little bit more finite than using it freehand with my mouse. And of course, if I want to push that up, I can hit enter a couple of times. Of course, I can keep on typing and it will scroll up automatically for me. Now, the cool thing about text boxes is not only can you free float the text box, go right into the margins, which you can't do with your text or with pictures. In fact, your pictures, if you go back to your Home tab and reveal the codes, your paragraphs with your pictures and auto shapes, they're going to be tied to your hard returns. So if you don't have any hard returns, let's say below this line here, it doesn't matter with the text box, you can just drag it below there because it's free floating. I'm going to undo that here. I'm going to turn off my codes, come back to my contextual tab that's related to what I have selected here. Of course, you can click on the drop down arrow, and it's just basically looking at the training videos you saw before. If you watched on how to modify pictures, also your auto shapes or your clip art, it's the same thing. You got your Format tab. You can do different shadings in here. You can really kick it up and make it look really nice with all the options you have here. Aside from text, you can insert pictures and clip art and anything else you want to free float, like I said, throughout your document. So to insert a picture, let's click on the Insert tab, go to my picture, and then you'll scroll through your computer and find out where your pictures are hiding, but mine's right here. Once I find the picture, I just double click on it and it puts it in there. You can see that the picture goes beyond this border here. It gives me an outline, so I want to click on the border of my text box and drag the middle center handle, click and drag it down so I have more room for my picture, and that looks pretty nice. What I can do is I can go back to the Format tab for my text box and also change the outline of the border to a different color as well, maybe a light blue, so it kind of blends in a little bit with, looks like a cave there of water. So we have the pre-built text boxes. You can create your own basically by going to the Insert, clicking on the text box button and coming all the way down to draw your own text box. You can see my mouse's little plus sign, which means it's in drawing mode, so I can click and drag and stretch, and there's my text box. Now notice the difference between the pre-built text box and the one I just drew. When I draw it, the text is behind it. It's not wrapping around it. So I'll have to change the text wrapping option later, okay? So first of all, I can type in anything that I want. And I can also insert pictures, clip art. The whole idea is that I can click and drag and move this around, free float it anywhere I want. Now if I want the text to wrap around it, then of course I want to come up here in the Format tab and click Text Wrapping and say, look, just be around it tight. And then wherever I move it from then on, the text is going to wrap tight around it. In any case, if I want to get rid of it, I can click on it and hit the Delete key. If I don't want a border around it, you can always click on the outline of the shape and choose No Outline, and then I can't even see the border. Click back in it, it'll still give you a preview of it, so I can click on the border and hit the delete key and get rid of the text box altogether. Now, let's say I worked really hard on the text box and I like the border of it, the color, the picture in it. In fact, I would like to use this as a template for future text boxes that I insert into my documents. We'll call this template maybe a free lunch template. Let's say I do tons of documents on rock stars, and each rock star is going to have a free lunch or something. Well, what I can do is I can go ahead and select my text box. Once I select it, I'll go to the Insert tab. And even though you may think I'm inserting a text box, because I already have it selected, it won't allow me to do it, but it'll give me the Save option. So it'll save what I have there, that text box and everything within it, into a gallery. And the galleries are basically, let me click off, is when you click on the option, this is a gallery. It's a preview of everything that you may or may not want to choose from. And when you click on it, it actually inserts it for you. So a gallery, again, is a preview. So I'm going to select what I want to save it as, click on the text box and save the selection. Call this my free text box for drawings. The gallery is going to be text boxes. So when I click on the text box, I can see the gallery. And I got two different categories. I've got my built-in, which is Microsoft. You saw where it said built-in, it had all their default templates. Or if I don't want mine mixing with theirs, I can do general. Or if I want to create my own, I can say create new category and just type it in here. But I'll do general because that's not in the same group as built-in, and it will be by itself. And then in the description, I can go ahead and type in what this text box is about. Use for free stuff box. And then click OK. Now that it's saved, anytime I open up a new Word document, it'll be there and available for me to use. Well, let me show you. If I come up here and click on the Office logo, click New, and I double click on the blank document here, there's my new document. Now I want to insert that same text box. Let's say I type a bunch of stuff in here. And now it's time to insert the text box. Click on Insert, click on the text box. Now this is the built-in. We don't want that, so we're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom until we get to our general, and there it is. Click on it. Voila. Puts it in the same place. It has the same picture, the same color, everything as I saved it in my previous document down at the bottom on the Collins document. Come and I'll right click here and I'll close out of that. I won't save it, so I'm back to my Phil Collins document here. And if I want to get rid of this from my gallery, it's pretty simple. All you have to do is just click on the text box button, go down and find the one that you don't want anymore, and when in doubt, right click, and you can organize it and delete it. Left click on that. Organizing it means that you can go ahead and change the name if you want. By default, it automatically selects my free text box. So if I edit the properties of what you see in the preview window here, I can rename it. I can say you're going to be in a different gallery, so when I click on a different button, it's going to be part of that gallery, but that doesn't make sense because this is a text box, so I wouldn't change it. You can update the description, but what I really want to do is I don't want it anymore. I'm going to go ahead and delete it. And it's gone. And just quickly looking at all the other galleries that you have to choose from, you got predefined table formats here. So when you click on inserting a table, you get a gallery of tables to choose from. So at least you get an idea of what this is all about. These are all building blocks, basically a bunch of formats, fonts, and structured, all put into one that can be listed in any one of the galleries when you click on. Thanks for watching. Hey, as a quick reminder, if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. You can also click on me and subscribe to my channel, get notified of the latest videos, and for only $2 a month, you can have access to all my Microsoft Office training videos.